All right. Oh, speakers. Welcome, welcome. We're good? Yes. Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the Unconventional Mindset. My name is Adum, and what we're doing here, of course, is working towards building ourselves a company that is going to generate us $1 million of revenue every single year. Now, my apologies here for a second. I updated OBS, which is a live streaming software, and I'm just trying to figure out this thing. I had a thing I was going to go earlier, and then of course I had some issues with software, and then I couldn't stream. It was weird. I had to update some drivers and whatever. So anyways, I just have a new layout, just trying to figure things out. But anyways, neither here nor there. You guys don't care about that. We're just here to get down to business. And of course, what we're doing and what that business is, of course, is we are building a Webflow component and template library. And what we left off last time was right here. I'm going to bring it up. We're going to be working on our component library, and we were working on our navigation items, and we have the bare bones of these ones kind of finished up. And I think over the weekend, I didn't do too much in regards to this, to these components, to these navigation items. I think I just did a few little minor updates to the style guide, and that was pretty much it. That being said, there's something that I've been thinking about with regards to the style guide. So actually, I'm going to bring it up here, because maybe I'll just mention it here. And if anybody can think of anything, then do let me know. Because basically, this here is the style guide, and this Webflow project is going to be what we're going to link to everyone. Like, everyone's going to have access to this because this is going to be the style guide, right? So you can copy and paste it, away you go. You just have it, right? You can clone the project. Now, the problem that I'm having is whenever I update this style guide, which is fine, if there's ever updates to do, great. We'll have a change log, all that fun stuff. But the problem is if I update this, and then if you want to take the whole thing and basically cut and paste it into another project, because every other component is actually using, we're using the style guide, right? These navigation components, they're all using the style guide. So we need it. But when I update it here, it's not going to get updated onto any of the other projects that are using the style guide. And then I worry about if I have to cut and paste the content from this style guide to another one, that there could be issues with duplicating classes, and it's going to make everything like class 2 and all that kind of stuff. Hey, welcome to the stream. Nazima, how are you doing? Welcome. So that's kind of an issue. I think that's going to be something we're going to have to deal with in the future. Not something that's too critical right now, but it's something to think about. So I'm a little bit hesitant and worried about what that's going to be for the long-term maintenance of the style guide for the actual components that we're building. The other way that could be around this, are you the only one watching right now? It seems like you're the only one in the stream. You're the only person I can see. But as I'm still pretty new, every once in a while I get in terms of people that pop in, usually between 1 and 3 or 4 people are watching live at the same time. So, but feel free to stick around, chat and hang out, or whatever it is that you're working on, just kind of work together. I'm just grateful for anybody that wants to come along for the ride at any time. So, a lot of the times too, it's really just me sitting out working and trying to figure this out, trying to build this business and build this company. So, right. So what was I thinking? Oh, right. If the components and even the other templates, if they're built in the same Webflow project as a style guide, then we won't have to worry about that. But I don't think that that's the best way to go about it. I don't think so, especially if you want to have the style guide to be available publicly. But it could be a thing too where all the components and all the templates are on its own individual Webflow project, but then everything else, then the style guide gets updated. That's the one that I update. That could be a way to go. I'm not sure. Anyways, okay. Forget about that. Let's get on with building what we had before. And I just moved my office around, or my studio, whatever you want to call it. And so I can't show this overhead, but we're going to be working on this here to design the footers that we sketched out by hand last week or a week and a half ago. So that's what we're going to be working on today. So we're going to get started with that right now. So what should we do? Let me zoom in here a little bit so this will be easier to see. This is probably about as big as I can go. So Nazima, what brings you to the stream today? Are you Webflow enthusiast? Are you a web developer, web designer, looking to start your own business? Okay, so let's just create an. Should we duplicate? Let's duplicate this page. Ah, you're a programmer. Right on. Do you work a lot with Webflow, or do you just, well, I guess the idea would be, I mean, if you're programming, you probably work with lots of different programs, but specifically it's interesting. There's lots of people that are programmers that focus specifically with using Webflow, which is kind of interesting. Page name. So this is going to be, we'll just call this footer for now. You don't know anything about Webflow? Yeah, it's a pretty cool tool. It's a no-code tool for people to build their own websites, and really kind of heavily designed, I would say, for designers. But a lot of developers are starting to use it as well too, because you can do some pretty cool integrations with like other back-end tools, and then you use Webflow to build out your front end, which is kind of cool. And for me, I'm mostly, I guess my background would say mostly front end, the design stuff. I do some programming, but I'm just enough to be dangerous. And my favorite framework to use was Ruby on Rails. I love working with that. I still do. I still think it's fantastic. All right. So footer section. Okay. So the first thing we're going to build is we're going to build our basic footer. So this whole thing, in fact, we can get rid of all of these old ones and even this one. Okay. Basic footer menu. Featuring custom. Actually, let's take a look at our first version 1 is just going to be completely custom elements. Okay, I got to get my other camera set up here. So is it a drag and drop designing platform? Yes. Yeah. It's pretty much, it's like what you see, what you get. So yeah, if you go on the side here, you have these different elements, and yeah, you can drag in your containers, you can drag in your headings, you can drag in form blocks, div tags, grids, like basically most HTML elements are kind of drag and drop. And then yeah, just like a visual design editor, which is pretty cool. So I talked quite a bit before in terms of like some of the limitations that it has, because obviously it's not perfect. You can't just get access to like every single HTML element and CSS styling out the box, but you can do custom code and all that kind of stuff. But But it's really nice as a visual editor to build things. And it's especially nice for me that operates my design agency and I have clients where I can give them the interface that allows them to visually edit their content on their website using a great on-screen editor. So they just could hit their website, hit, !edit, and then every element that you allow is editable, like just the content, right? So it's really slick interface to give to your clients, which is really nice. But then also pretty slick to actually design as well. That being said, for me, I'm old school kind of guy. Like I love just taking a notepad or Sublime Text, whatever favorite editor of choice, and just code things by hand. But because of the nature of client work and the speed and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, this tool has just ended up being phenomenal for me and my business. And then of course, so then what I'm doing here with this live stream is building kind of a secondary business onto the side where I'm going to be selling components and templates for people to be able to build their own sites with. So anyways, that's the long answer to that short question. The same, that would have some limitations. Yeah, definitely has limitations for sure. But there are, for the most part, there are workarounds. And there's a lot for someone like me that development is not my forte. I'm doing really heavy like programming, that there's a lot of no-code tools like Make or Zapier that really help integrate this tool with all kinds of other third-party applications. So it makes things pretty nice and easy to use without having to get, other developers involved. That being said, I still prefer if I could actually have a developer on my team to help me work and build things instead of having to rely on third-party tools. But, you got to work with your limitations and work with, your budgets and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, for most client work that's pretty simple and straightforward, you're going to get like 99% of the stuff that you're going to want. If you're doing things that are more complex, then maybe you can look for alternatives, or you're just going to be building a custom solution anyways. Okay, so we need to build out our footer. So we're going to throw it in with a div block. Do I need a web developer? I always love to have people that I know that are on contact, so that, like, for now, the way that I work, because I'm a single solo entrepreneur with my company and I'm not quite ready to expand just yet, what I do is if I have any other work that I know I can't do, I contract that out. So I'll just have like a subcontractor for different work until I get to the point where I can actually look at hiring other people when there's enough work that's flowing in the door. And my goal is, and my hope is, that once I release this Piixel Pieces, that there's going to be enough interest for me to obviously continue developing and continue growing the platform. But then also to bring on somebody to help me out with more of the back-end integrations that are going to be required to run the app the way that I want it to run. So yeah, but it's always a good idea for me anyways, as a business guy, to have as many people that you know in your contact list, because it's always good. You never know when you can need some help from somebody. And I'm definitely of the mindset in terms of business that you want to get in with business with other people where you can help each other out. Because for me, business is always about people helping each other build things and develop things that provide value to other people. That's the way I see business anyways. So that being said, if you're ever looking for work or whatever have you, or if you have, any of that stuff sounds of interest to you, just shoot me a message or whatever. And we can always get in touch offline. Right, menu. Okay, our footer. We need to create. Okay, our footer is going to be for now, it's going to be a 5-column grid where it has the logo on the right hand side, on the left hand side, I should say, along with columns for the navigation and then a contact section. Okay, so let's lay this out. So we are just going to call this, that's going to be footer 1. That's the main thing. And then we're going to wrap it in a grid. And this is going to be a 5-column grid. And then we're going to have, actually, let's go back here to our navigation just for a second because we want to steal, it's navbar 1 logo. We're going to call it something different. Let's copy this here. And let's just paste this in. Except we can't call it. Actually, what is it again? Navbar 1. Oh. It's just the size of 1.2. And it's capitalized. So footer 1 logo. I'm going to do, let's unlink that variable. Let's say 1.2. And we're going to bold it. And then we're going to capitalize and then undo the text decoration. Oh, none. Okay, and then so we're going to have these different columns for these footer elements. So let me just lay out the structure of this first. Actually, I don't know if we should, I don't think we should use headings. Let's use text block. So this is going to be, as an example, like company. And then we're going to go in and actually not a text block. It's going to be a link. So like about us. I don't know, like privacy, maybe pricing, whatever, jobs. Okay. So let's give this some good class names here. So footer 1, footer -1 underscore column. Yeah, it is basically a column. And within that column, let's take each element and we'll just do a flex layout and we'll flex it vertically. And we want to give them a little bit of padding in between each item. That's a little bit too much. Maybe a quarter of an REM unit. And then this is footer 1 / column. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you stopping by. Have yourself a good one, and maybe we'll see you next time. Take it easy. Maybe one of these days I'm gonna have to start playing that piano that's back there. Be a piano break time after a coding session. I don't know if you can call this a coding session. Maybe you can. Maybe that's offensive to all you coders out there. This isn't coding. This is designing in Photoshop for web designers. Where were we? Footer -1 underscore. This is just the column title. Yeah, thanks for that. Okay, footer, column 1, title. And we'll give this a little bit of a, let's see, we'll just probably bold it. And maybe make the font size slightly bigger. I mean, this is just for demonstration purposes. Font sizing, small. I don't have anything like right in the middle. I do need something that's right in the middle. I think we'll have to fix that. 1.25 with my font sizing. That's even too much. Oh, right. I'm zoomed in. So when I zoom out, let me have a look. Yeah, that looks a lot. Even that might be even too big. Oh, zoom back in here. In fact, maybe even slightly 1.125, which I think that's 18 pixels. So that works. And this is footer _1. Link. Is that a good class name for this? So we've got footer 1 column, column title, column link. Or should it be like nav? Like navigation column? No, because they're not all going to be navigation columns. Footer 1 _ column. Yeah, okay, I think that works. Then we'll duplicate that a couple times, and then we're just gonna throw in some dummy text here. Services, so let's say website design. Whoops, I want to save that as anything. Website development. Graphic design, whoops. Graphic design, and geez, I don't know. I don't know. Application. That's kind of the same thing. I don't know. Just create creative services. Oh, that's weird. Products. Let's just say templates. Components is kind of just like for this, I guess, eh? Like print templates. Let's say stickers. We have stickers. That's stupid. And we have t-shirts. Let's make this just design, development, consulting. Okay, that works. It just looks a little bit visually a little bit better. And we want one more column, which is going to have all of the social items. Oh shoot, the column link, I didn't actually put the class on them. Oh, now I gotta copy and paste that into all of them. Oh, that's annoying. Paste. 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 I gotta skip. No. It won't open. So if you click the right arrow it goes to the next sibling element in the navigator, which is handy when you do stupid things like this. Okay. And social, actually, this is going to be something a little bit different, because this is going to be, this is going to be a phone number. So one, I don't know, 800. It's look like a real, it's the area code here. 555 1234. So this one, we want to make it a phone number. But see, if you make this a phone number, which we want, like that. Nope. So does that save? It is. But if I cut and paste that, the link setting, it's also a phone, but I don't think we could do that as a class. Because even if I change the class, yeah, it's still going to change everything. Basically, I'm thinking, can you do a class like this? You know, is phone. Oops. My cap locks. Is phone. And that's going to know that this is a phone number. So 888-555-1234. So that is phone. But if I go here and I say is phone, that's not going to make it a phone class. So we're not going to be able to do anything like that, unfortunately. So footer one underscore column link. So the only thing we can do is really just go into the phone number and actually type it in. I mean, there might be something that we might want to do to differentiate a phone link from like an email, for example, and that actually might be to have an icon beside it, which actually I think we should do. So that's an email at me.com, subject. Hello from your website. Oh, that's horrible. I'm going to come up with something a little bit better than that. And then the idea with social, then there'd be icons here in a, well, here, I could put it in here right now. Just in a social, like a social, just in an element there, just the icons side by side. You know what, like an icon, not a bar, just a display. I don't even know what, like a gallery? What's the word I'm looking for? Display? I don't know. Just when you have the social icons strung side by side, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, whatever the case may be. So we need icons. So let's go grab some icons. Did I click on this? Open up? No, yeah, you're just opening up really slow. Icons. So there was lots of icons I was looking at. Social media and brands. So let's just grab a couple of these. And let's grab a YouTube. Oh, we actually don't want to open it there. Let's use, we got some Visual Studio. So let's just take the SVG and we're going to throw it in here. Okay. So that'll be our YouTube. Facebook, get the code. Instagram, just the maybe, you know, 4 or 5 of the more popular ones. Again, this is just to give people an idea of what the menu could look like. Instagram, I guess X would be popular. Oh God, is it just me or is X just such a stupid name? I just like Twitter so much better, even though like I'm not on it. I guess technically I am on it. I have an account, but I don't tweet. It just looks so, just the icon just looks so bad compared to all the other ones. And the problem is the proportions. The proportions of the logo are too, I don't know. It's just, it's like they decided to change the name and didn't put any effort at all into like what the actual logo itself is going to look like. But I get it. I know from Elon's book and what he's talking about in terms of why he wants to call it X. So I totally get it. His business vision. I just don't like the way that it looks from a designer's perspective. And what would be another popular, maybe LinkedIn. Let's copy that. And we actually want to duplicate this one. Oh, that's a really bad icon for that. Maybe TikTok. Yuck. Ugh. Just even thinking about it. Let's do that one instead. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Okay. So we're going to call this social icons. Or should it be like social, like banner or social links? Like social profile. What is it even called? What the heck is it called when you have all your links for your social media on your footer? I feel like banner, but it's not really a banner. What can we call it? Sorry, while I'm thinking, I'm just taking a look at OBS stuff over here. Sorry, it's just new. It's all new to me. I mean, it's not really that important. Let's call it social. Let's just call it social links for now. Can't think of anything else better. So let's align it, and we want to align everything center. And oh shoot, you know what I didn't do is put them in an actual link. Oh, what did I press? I pressed a button. I think I accidentally closed my whole thing. Component library. Okay. Let's get back into it. Request design control, please. Should I split it off into nothing? Okay, full control, excellent. So I think like control 4 or something like that ends up shutting down your tab. Actually, no, we go in here, control alt, I think it's A? Yes, wraps it in a link block. So we're gonna call this social. This is a social link. I think we'll call that a social link, but this is social media. I mean, maybe just social media. Whoops. That's just social media. And then this would be social media link. Let me just take a quick look here at client first. Let's go in the docs. Both utility classes and custom classes can be global. A global class is not for a specific instance. Global means everything and anywhere in the project. All utility classes are global classes. Utility classes are global in nature, like margins. For example, FAQ items can be a global custom class. We have many FAQ sections throughout the website. An FAQ item is used to manage the FAQ section. Header, right? Combo classes, right? Yeah, we don't want a deep stack for sure. Yeah, that's annoying. To avoid the use of utility classes everywhere in a project, right? A clear benefit to using a utility class, right? Right. Right, that's for team list. I don't find writing this very difficult at all. It's just something that you do. But it is a lot faster. Mm-hmm. For example, let's look at a global utility class called position absolute, which adds CSS property to an element. There's no reason to change the style of class globally. Right. Section dark, right. Right, if you use it too much. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So I think we're okay. I'm just sorry. That whole thing was a little bit of an aside just to take me on to make sure that my naming conventions here are going to make sense, which I think they are. Except we don't have one for the embed yet, but we'll get to that. Control Alt A. Social media link. Control Alt A again. Let's do that here. Copy that. Paste that there. Paste that one there. Okay. And we actually probably want to add icons again to the phone. Let's get a phone icon, and then let's also get an email icon. So let's take a look at, what do we got? Communication. So there should be a phone, just a regular phone. Perfect. That's what we want. Actually, we need a link block right in here. And one, we're going to have an embed, which, oh, not that code, but let's get our SVG code. Nope. I'll just copy that. And then we're also going to need a text block, and then we'll copy that. Yeah. So this is going to be footer one. Should we give this a combo class, or should we give it its own personal class? I feel like we're still going to give it a social media link, but then we're going to give it a combo class with icon. So that whatever, oh, actually not social media link. That's the wrong one. We want it to be a footer link. Let's redo that. Footer one column link, and then is with icon. And actually, do we have? I think we have the button with icon, but not a link with icon. right? Where's our buttons? Yeah, we have a button with icon, but that's different. This is a link with icon. So it's a little different. Okay, so is with icon. And so when we have our footer links, whatever these are going to be, you know, say we want them to be like whatever red, then that's going to update the style accordingly, but it's not going to change the behavior of this link here, which is going to be, we're going to flex, and then we're going to align it center, and then the gap, maybe something like that. Okay, we're gonna have to play around with the size of these icons because they're not quite right, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And this one here is just going to be a phone call. 902 555 1234. That's cool. And then we'll delete this one, and then we're just going to, I think I deleted that by accident. Let's copy paste this, and this is going to be email at address.com, and we want this whole thing to be an actual email at address.com, and we'll just say hello, which I think works. Now we need to have a mail icon, which will be this one, which will work. Let's open this up. No, not here. We want to open it up in our editor so we can get the code, which we now have. Right. I think with this one, I think we have our viewport here is a little bit off. Our view box. Yeah. Needs to be something like that. Anyways, we'll undo that because we don't want to just mess around with all of them right now. Because they're all going to be different depending on the size of the icon. And I'm not sure what to do with icons yet, whether I can just buy a set and then distribute them with these components, or whether I have to, just do something else. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so we have social media and social media links. I like it. Style is with icon. Right, and I think that is pretty much actually, except for this right here. Oops, not in here, but in here. Okay, so this here would basically be like the company creed. So this would be like a unique style. You know, whatever, we make it a little bit bigger. We want a text size. So we make it large. Oh, what color do we want to make it? I don't know. I really need to figure this out. A good color scheme for this. Right. So yeah, we have the logo, the creed, maybe. maybe on the logo, I want to put some margins on here, but I don't know if it should go like on the logo or somewhere else. I think something like this works. And our grid 5 column, I think still works nicely. Our global padding of 2. Okay, I mean, that would be the basic menu. And then, of course, I think what we would want to do is when you get down to this level, I think we're going to, I don't know if we should do this now or do this later, but this one, we're going to have this span 5. So it's going to go through the whole thing. And actually, no. Let's hang on a second. Shoot, I know I want to update the grids, but I don't know if I should do it on here or whether I should do it. No, I needed to do it to the grids themselves. Because in my mind here, this should be a 3-column grid. And then this one, I want to do to span all 3. So this one spans all 3. These ones are just 3, 3, 3 or 1, 1, 1 in one column. And then this one will span the full width. That's one thing that I need to do on the style guide, which I haven't done. So basically what I'm saying is, let me go back here. So this grid 5 basically becomes grid 3. This thing spans 3. And this one spans 3 as well. Right? And then when you get down to here, it's just 1, obviously. Here might be 1 as well too, depending on the size. So that's basic footer 1. And so the different variations, variation 2 just has a basic navigation structure, and which we can throw in different navs, navigation 1, navigation 2, what have you. And version 3 just has the logo in the middle, and then it has navigation below that, and then the social media icons, and then the copyright. And those would be like the main types of sections, or main types of navigations. At least initially, right? That's the idea. And then whether we decide to come up with new variations or we come up with lots of variations that are utilizing the same components. Like for this one, for this basic footer, for example, like it's easy if you want to, take out one of this and you just want 2 columns, and then instead of this whole grid here being 4 columns, then you just make it like 4 columns, right? There's lots of easy ways that you can customize this exactly specifically to what your needs are. And so I don't think it makes much sense for us when we go to Piixel Pieces and people hit on components, and then there's like a million different footer components, but they're all basically the same thing, right? So that's what we might want to, we just want to keep that in mind, right? So yeah, so that's where we are. So we need to do these other basic footers. So I think today, for right now, this would be a good place to stop. It's getting close to supper time here, or dinner time, or whatever you want to call it. And we still got some work here in the studio to kind of fix this place up. I can even see the camera's all crooked. It's just street. It's just, guys, how could you deal with this? This is just too crooked. So we're a little bit short today. We're just under an hour. But I'm going to keep plugging away, and we're going to keep working away, and we're going to get back here again tomorrow, and we're going to keep working away on the footer if we haven't done so already. And once we're done with the footer section, then we're going to start maybe working on like some hero sections, or yeah, I mean, there's not too many. I mean, it's not too many. There's lots of other things we can do, like blog layouts and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll work out something, and we'll get. We're going to start really making some good headway on getting all these components done up and ready to go out the door, so that hopefully we can get launched as soon as possible. And then we'll have some really good fun, like marketing and business and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, leave it here. Thanks again for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate all the support. And of course, we'll be back here with another stream tomorrow. Until then, have a good one.